Well, Jodi Ohl is here, and she has brought cold wax with her, which I'm really excited about because I've only ever seen encaustic with hot wax. I sort of never understood what cold wax was.
Yeah, and it always intrigued me too, because I love texture. I don't know about you, but I'm a texture person, I'm a messy person. In cold wax, you don't need the heat. So basically, if I have a little bit over here on my palette, it looks like Crisco, doesn't it?
It does.
So, but it is beeswax, it's mixed with solvent, so that's why it's
you
soft.
buy it as cold wax.
You buy it as cold wax.
It's a specific thing called that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's basically a painting medium. So if you think of acrylic paints, this is kind of like a modeling paste for oil paints.
Kind of looks like Italian ice.
It does. And so what you're going to do, Julie, is mix this with oil paint. Has to be oil paint. And I'll just do a little sample here. And
is that the right ratio? Meaning I saw this a tiny dot.
Yeah, it's about, I'm not going to say 50-50, but it's right around that range. You want it to be pretty similar. The more wax you have it into the oil paint, the more translucent it's going to be, and it'll dry faster. So basically, what I have for you today, because doesn't this look like frosting once you actually mix it up?
Oh yeah, it totally does.
I thought we'd do like a little bit of a sweet treat. We'll do some easy cakes, kind of grungy, and show you how to build up the wax in a fun little project here.
Cool.
So basically what I have today is some gesso board. And you can use, really, this is very forgiving. You can use any sort of drawing material. I like to get some initial marks, get some scribbles going. And this is using a regular pencil.
Does it matter if it's water soluble, non-water soluble?
No.
Oil-based, acrylic-based?
No, for this first layer you can do anything. So I'm using pastels.
This is such a great way to take things that you messed up on, like artwork you messed up on, and make it better.
Yeah, you absolutely could do that. So I'm just gonna have fun drawing some random marks. You can draw some circles. So we have one over here that's undone, and you can actually even mix it in with your fingers. You can blend it.
Now, can you use a wet media like a watercolor or something, or it has to be a dry media?
You could use a watercolor too, because what you're going to do next is after you have the your mark making, have fun, play with it. You're going to want to take just a plain board, and I would take a little bit of wax, and what I normally would do is I just basically do one swipe through of the wax.
So you would be doing it with a squeegee?
Yes, you want a flat surface. So I don't have any on my board right now, but you just do basically a skim coat. This one right here is already dry. What that does is it basically sets that all your media.
So it's such a translucent coat. I can feel it because I can feel the difference, but I can't see it.
Exactly. So you're gonna let that dry, and that basically seals in all your mark making, so you can move on to the next step.
So that's why it can be water soluble, because you're sealing it.
You're sealing it.
Okay.
So move that aside here. So the next step I like to do is just picture, like, you can draw something totally easy and funky. So I'm just gonna lay down like a little bit of a table going here, and I'm using just a kind of very chunky crayon type of pencil.
Now, does it matter at this point if it's water soluble or not, or is it still anything goes to draw this?
Well, this is a little bit, I would say use your water soluble products at the beginning and not towards the end.
So this is a more permanent.
Right, this is a more permanent. I'm going to go ahead and let's just decide, do you want to, let's do a white background, because what I want to show you is, like, the reason why you want to do all those fun marks at the base is because you can...
I see the translucence of the wax, so you can see it through, but it's almost like whitewashing a fence or something. You're toning back what's there, but you're not obliterating it. And I think that's a huge thing, because I think a lot of people, when they first start making art, tend to want to paint like you're painting a wall in your house.
Exactly, but you want to see the back. And the nice thing about wax too is you can use your, like, dance around the canvas, get some texture going. You can build it up as much as you want.
Now I notice you're not coming that close to your outline.
No, because I want a little bit to show through. And also I'm doing this upside down, so I can't really see what I do, but you can see this is a straight edge. So let's just pretend like we have it all done there. So you can add any colors. I have a whole bunch of them over here, but this one little fun, we can mash in like a texture plate.
Texture plates or unmounted rubber stamps or anything like that.
So
that's so cool.
Yeah, so you can do that.
And that texture will be permanent?
It's totally will be permanent once it's dry.
How do you have to clean off your texture plate? Are there any rules about that?
A lot of people don't realize that regular cooking oil can clean off your tools. So you don't have to necessarily use like toxic
cleaners of any kind.
No, absolutely not. So the next step after that, you just can go ahead, add color that you want, and you can see over here where it's dry. I don't know if you can
so I was going to say,
that.
the difference here is just that you used a colored wax. We didn't do anything to this afterwards.
Right. But you can still see that the marks I made below. Now I'm going to show you a really fun.
I like the shading that you got here too.
Absolutely.
Just
so
adding a different pink.
So basically, I could take a pastel.
So does this dry hard? I'm afraid to touch it too much.
Yeah, it does dry hard. Okay. So it dries hard. So this, and I should mention that you want to leave it dry probably overnight after you do each layer.
So how much open time do you have, when you have a palette of stuff out? How long can you work with it?
You can work with it for a couple of days, but you should probably still cover it with a plastic sheet.
Okay.
So you can use pastels to shade a little bit. I also like to carve into my drawing, so let's use
even when it's dry.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just pretend like
what a good use for a compass, because frankly, I haven't used one to draw a circle in a very long time.
So just write happy on there. And the neat thing is, I don't know if you can see that or not, but you can see the colors coming through. Yes. So you can do as much as you want.
All those underlayers. It's like an even fancier version of Sgraffito, right?
Absolutely. So on here, I did a little bit of Sgraffito on here, did the background. We got a little bit of decorations. And you can go ahead and finish it up by, adding, let's just say we want to add some flowers. You can kind of just add little impressionistic flowers.
One of the things I always love about adding natural elements like flowers is they don't have to be perfect, because nature's not perfect.
Absolutely.
I have a favor, Jodi. Can I try
just
a little bit of the wax for a second? I just want to get a feeling for it, if I may.
You absolutely can.
Just tip me through here. So I'm using a palette knife, which I know. Yeah. And is this the right amount?
Well, it depends on how thick you want your flowers. So, it just has to, try that. And if it doesn't work, the beauty of it, you can scrape it.
That's the best attitude. Try it, and if it doesn't work, so then I just want to do sort of a swooshing motion.
Yeah, just a swishing motion.
So here's the interesting thing. Yours seem much flatter. Mine seems much fatter. Am I swishing?
Maybe use a little bit more pressure?
A little more pressure. There you go.
Now, if you want to then go ahead and add, oopsie, on the other end, this is a skewer. You can add a little bit of a circle.
How cool.
Then you could go back, even if you wanted to let this dry, we'll show you on one of these. You can let it dry, and then you can go ahead and add some color, or you can try to do it and I'll show you one last little trick here.
Yeah.
So I have some oil painting medium, and I'm just gonna water down some of my cold wax.
What are you using? Is that oil?
Yeah, this is like an oil painting medium. So kind of think of it as a glazing medium, but for oil. Okay. So I'm gonna be thinning down the paint.
Oh, I can see it's getting very translucent.
Very translucent. We'll do it on this one because I didn't do any. You can do a few little paint splatters. Let's hopefully. Just to, and if you don't like, I always like to use a regular towel. And just a safety precaution, it's best to be in a well-ventilated area, and make sure you don't put your towels in the regular garbage. Throw it in a metal container.
Because of the oil.
Yeah,
paint.
I mean, and it doesn't have. You don't want it to possibly combust in your house. So again, let it dry. You can play around with different techniques, different colors.
It's really cool. And one of the things I know you told me is I have extra paint on the palette knife here. You've got extra paint on your palette, and it's not garbage.
It's not garbage. I always have a blank canvas with me, and I'll just clean off my brush. Go ahead, do that. There's all sorts of things you can use. Don't be afraid.
So this is your abstract painting has been started. You just need to finish it the next time that you're going to work on it.
Just
what is that?
This is another Sgraffito, and you can dig in. So I really encourage you to find things throughout the house. A lot of these are cooking tools, clay tools. There's silicone scrapers that you can use and have a lot of fun with it.
It's really flexible.
Absolutely. So
let's look at some of the finished work here, which is absolutely stunning. Do you want to tell us anything about these?
Yeah, well, I've tried all different, background techniques. This is using black over top of it, and again, just scraping through, so you can really have fun with this. And over here on this bigger one, you notice I didn't get too close to my my black line, so that's really outlined. Then I use chalk pastel to get that green even darker, to add some shading. So that's another thing, scraping in the white on the flowers. And really, they're just cute and grungy. You could just have fun. You can't go wrong with this technique.
Super fun. You've made cold wax seem really easy. I want to try it. Thank you.
All right, well, that's great. Thank you.